tree with the small apple. Hooray! We have a basket full of fruit. Take a nut for the squirrel. The squirrel also needs to stockpile cones and nuts. The nut path is a long one. The cone path is a short one. Tap the long path. Tap the short path. Tap the long path. You're doing great. Tap the long path. Tap the short path. Tap the long path. Done! Tap the short path. Tap the long path. Tap the short path. Good! Tap the long path. Tap the short path. Now it's time to go home. Let's choose a shorter way to get good job. You've earned a nut for the squirrel. Here are the nuts which the squirrel has picked in the woods. Let's move them to the table. Drag the nuts onto the table one by one. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's peel some nuts. Tap the nuts one by one after each number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well done. You peeled all the nuts. Now let's move the peeled nuts into a bowl. Drag them one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take a nut for the squirrel. A chipmunk visited the squirrel and she wants to treat him with nuts. Let's count the nuts. The chipmunk has 1 nut and the squirrel has 0 nuts. So we need to put 1 nut on the squirrel's plate so they'll have equal amounts of nuts. That's it. Now the number of nuts is equal. The chipmunk has 2 nuts. The squirrel has 3 nuts. Put a nut from the bowl to the animal which has fewer nuts to make the amounts equal. Keep it up. The chipmunk has 4 nuts, and the squirrel has 1 nut. Put a nut from the bowl to the animal which has fewer nuts to make the amounts equal. Done! The chipmunk has 2 nuts, and the squirrel has 1 nut. Put a nut from the bowl to the animal which has fewer nuts to make the amounts equal. Good! Take a nut for the squirrel. The squirrel needs to make raspberry jam for the winter. Let's move the raspberries from the basket into the jar. Count the berries. 1, 2. Now you should move as many berries as numbers will show you. 1, 2, 3. Cool! One, 2, 3, 4. Like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're doing great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good job. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take a nut for the squirrel. How many mushrooms did the squirrel pick in the forest? Let's count. Let's get the mushrooms out of the baskets. There are 2 mushrooms in this basket. There's 1 mushroom in this basket. We've got 3 mushrooms. There are 2 mushrooms in this basket. There are 3 mushrooms in this basket. We've got 5 mushrooms. There are 3 mushrooms in this basket. We've got 8 mushrooms. There are 3 mushrooms in this basket. There are 4 mushrooms in this basket. We've got 7 mushrooms. There are 6 mushrooms. There are 2 mushrooms in this basket. We've got 8 mushrooms. Take a nut for the squirrel. Let's continue our adventure. The numbers scattered in different directions. Put the number 4 in its place. You're doing great. Cool. Good. Cool. Like this. Take a nut for the squirrel. How many mushrooms did the squirrel pick in the forest? Let's count. There are 2 mushrooms in this bundle. There are 3 mushrooms in this bundle. Drag the bundle with the right number. Ready? Keep it up. You're doing great. Ready? You're doing great. Take a nut for the squirrel. Now we'll learn the numbers of the second 10. Let's count the cones. Tap the cones one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's the first 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's the second 10. Take a nut for the squirrel. The cones have mixed up. Put them in the right order. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's the first 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's the second 10. You've earned a nut for the squirrel. The squirrel has picked cones. We need to extract the seeds and pour them into jars for the winter. To get 5 seeds, the cone with 2 seeds and the cone with 3 seeds pour their seeds into a jar on the shelf. Beautiful. Done. Cool. Ready?